Okay, good morning, everyone. Today I wanted to come on here and I want to talk about the good and the bad of gardening. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because a lot of times we'll come on YouTube and we'll watch other people's gardens and we're like, oh, look at that, that is perfect. Or a lot of times you'll see people gardening and they have all these things that you need to buy. You gotta get this, you gotta get that. And it kind of reminds me of when I started watching YouTube to go natural. And I was watching all these people, they was like, oh, you gotta buy this, you gotta buy that. And I was like, wow, being natural shouldn't be this hard. It's just natural. You have to buy all these products to have natural hair. It just didn't make sense to me because I was already buying products for my permed hair. So why would I buy products for my natural hair? And it reminded me of when I was growing up and you get your hair braided and they put grease in your hair and that was it. And your hair grew. That's all. Wash your hair, grease your hair, braid your hair. And that's the way it went. You didn't get all these products and everything and your hair grew. You know, And so that's what I was thinking about as far as the gardening, is concerned. Is like, did our ancestors do all that? They didn't have the products that we have. They just did natural things. So I want to show y'all some stuff. I think in my last video I showed y'all that I had, a disease on my blackberry tree, and that's spreading. And so now I'm like, you know what? Okay, let's just do something different. If what you've been doing isn't working, then maybe you should do something different. And so what I'm going to do and what I've been working on is just simplifying things. Simplifying, because it's just crazy. It's just crazy. But I was really upset because my sorrel, I don't know if it's going to make a comeback, but you see that? Something has decimated my sorrel. And I was just shocked by that because it was so strong. I'm like, what came through here? Then, look at that. Y'all see that? That's my cucumber. And that has spots on it. Y'all see that? It has spots on there. I don't know what's causing that. But you know what I decided to do? I said, I'm just going to keep things simple. Something's coming through here. Something's biting everything and eating everything up. I don't really want to spray everything. I just want to keep things as simple as possible. And so that's what I want to talk about. That's what I want people to know, is that sometimes you see people on here on YouTube and everything looks so perfect and you get discouraged. You get discouraged because you're like, I can't do that. I can't live up to those measures. And there have been times when I was like followed YouTubers to the T, did what they said that they were doing, and you know what? I didn't get the same result. And so then I started to wonder, like, maybe that's what they're saying is not the truth. Maybe what they're saying is not the truth. Maybe I should just follow nature. Maybe I should get out of nature's way. Maybe I should just do the simple things and let nature do the rest. Look at this. Now something came through here and is eating my curly kale. Something's eating my champion kale. It's just coming through and it's just, look at that. And I'm like, what is going on? Now that I'm looking at it, it looks like some type of bugs is on there too. I'm gonna have to just spray that with some spray. But just simple things, because I believe that nature is right. If you're trying to fight nature, you're gonna lose. I'm just being honest. You're trying to fight nature, you're gonna lose. I look at these, like this peach tree, and it's looking, I don't know what is going on, but I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I know that there are insects everywhere and we spray all these things to kill insects. But what if I'm killing the good insects that can actually fight these things? And that's what I've been thinking about. I'm like, wow. You know, people say, go get this spray. Go get that. And even with my trees, you know, spray that. Spray that on the trees. And you think about trees in the forest, and no one's spraying that. Or you walk by and there's just trees out there and they got fruit all over them. No one's spraying that. No one's coming by spraying these things. No one's doing that. And then you wonder why you have all these problems. These trees were in great condition before I got here. And then I started spraying. And I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And now look what I have. I have some type of infestation in here. Why? Because maybe I killed something that was protecting this environment. So that's what I want to talk about. That's what I want people to think about. You know, man is so quick to intervene. And oh, I want to do this and I want to do that. I'm going to tear this down and build this up. But the question is, are we making it better or are we making it worse? Even with our climate change that's going on right now, you got to think about that. Everything that we thought, oh, this is going to be better. I'm going to do this and this is going to be better. Now look at where we are. Now look at where we are. Everything is upside down. And so you have to ask yourself these questions. Maybe if I just let nature do what it wants to do. Maybe if I just left things just the way they are, nature will correct itself. Because nature always corrects itself. It always. You think about the reproductive system. The reason why that's in place is so that in case something dies off, there's still something left that they can reproduce and create a whole new world. Even when you look in the Bible, people left and, you know, I mean, they reproduced and here we are. So that's something I just wanted to talk about. I'm like, you know, it was just so discouraging for me. And a lot of times before I make my video, I think about it. I'm like, wow, like, I can't be the only person that is feeling like this. I can't be the only person that is going through this. Because gardening, it's not all good. And it's not all bad. This is a learning experience for me. You know, even in my life, I considered gardening how I need to simplify things. I'm always doing these elaborate things, wearing myself out. And so, you know, now I'm like thinking, you know what, with this infestation, I'm just gonna go back to simple. Go back to simple. Now compost, I will continue to compost. And I do like making my own fertilizer tea. So I will be doing that because that's simple. That's simple. Compost, if you're not composting, I don't know what you're doing with your life. That's just one of the simplest things that you can do is take your food scraps and put them in a container. That just blows my mind how it just breaks down. It just breaks down. It doesn't need me to do anything. You know, I mean, if we're being honest. I don't have to do anything but put it in a container, make sure some holes in there. Like I said, even this dirt that's out here, you know, I just put it down here, leave it out here. When I water in the garden, I water it a little bit, but that's it, it breaks down. It doesn't need me to go in there and chop it up or anything like that. I'm not chewing on this stuff. So if you're not composting, I don't know what you're doing. I mean, I just don't understand that. I don't. And some people say they don't have time to compost, but you're throwing away all these scraps. I actually try to stop composting, threw those scraps in my trash, and it's just a nasty smell. I'm like, maybe I just became immune to that, or maybe because I haven't had food scraps in my trash that I've never, you know, it's been years that I've been composting, so I've never had to have, you know, to smell that. But when I tried it, I was like, wow, that's some funky stuff. I mean, all that funky stuff is breaking down it's in my trash can. All those juices are just, ugh. So I just went back to composting because now at this point, it became such a part of me. You know, it was just I don't know. It's just amazing how you get into these habits and something becomes so much a part of who you are. Composting is now a part of who I am. When I look at food scraps, I look at it totally different from somebody who's not composting. You know, when I look at food scraps, I see that's my potential dirt. I don't have to buy dirt. That's my potential dirt. You know, even when I'm cutting my grass, I'm like, okay, and now I'm making my own fertilizer tea. That's a simple thing. I'm cutting my grass. I'm like, okay, throw some in a bucket with some water, you know, let it sit for a bit or whatever. Or when I'm weeding, throw it in a bucket. That's simple. That's simple. Whether it goes into the compost or whether it goes into the tea, that's a simple thing. And I know people are busy and people say they don't have time, you know, but I don't know. This has just made me even more conscious about how I'm treating the earth. You know, these chemicals that we're buying, this money that we're spending, these big corporations that we think are there for us, actually care about us. No, I'm just going to be honest. They don't. Everything has to do with money. Everything. You know, you feeding your kids this food that, you know, we're buying in the store that's got all these chemicals. Those chemicals are going into your body. Your child gets sick or you get sick. Guess where you're going to? The hospital. Then you have the insurance. It's a cycle. It's a cycle that has been set up not to benefit us, but to benefit the powers that be. And even the Bible talks about that. We got to pray for the powers that be. There are people in high places that are benefiting from our illnesses, that are benefiting from our sicknesses, you know, even cancer. You know, you be like, all this money and no one can seem to find a cure for cancer because ain't nobody really looking for it. We have to take care of ourselves. We have to make our own medicine. We have to heal ourselves because we can't wait for them to heal us. We have to do it. And how are we going to do that? Through our food. Making sure that we're not spraying and stuff on there. Making sure that what we're using is natural. So anyway, I'm not going to preach to anybody, but that's something that I learned. I learned that, wow, you know, I have control over what goes inside my body. I have control over what goes on my body. That's why I don't put lotions on my body. I use olive oil. And yes, it is expensive. My girlfriend said to me, she says, oh, that's expensive. Yes, but aren't you worth it? Aren't you worth it? You know, sometimes we want to cheap out on things, you know, and then we end up paying even more for cheaping out. I'm like, yeah, it is expensive. Yeah, when I look at that olive oil and I'm about to rub it on my body, I'm like, yup, I deserve this. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to put something that's good for my body on my body and in my body. And when you start thinking about that, you'll start doing things in a different way. So, don't mean to preach. Just wanted to share that because I want people to think, you know, and I know that's a very controversial topic, but I want people to think. Just think, you know, and I know that's a scary thing because if you start thinking, then you may have to do something about that. And that's up to you whether or not you want to do something about that. You know, when I think about my health, like you went through cancer and chemo and radiation and all that, and you mean to tell me you're not going to take care of your body? What's the use in going through all of that if you're not trying to live? If you're not trying to stay here, how am I going to stay here if I'm not taking good care of myself? You got to think about that. What are you going to do? Once you get that information, what are you going to do with that information? You can either stay where you are or you can change. So anyway, I hope this helps somebody. You know, I know I'm a controversial person. I mean, and I follow controversial people because they challenge me to think. Don't be following people who ain't challenging you. Why are you following people who won't challenge you? You know, the people that I surround myself with, they challenge me mentally, physically, and emotionally. That's what you need. You need someone that's going to make you level up to be better than where you are. So anyway, I hope everyone has a good day. I'll talk to all of you soon. Peace and love, my friends. Peace and love. Bye.